Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I just wanted to make a quick video just giving some tips of just kind of like stuff that I've researched and I've come across to help my, I guess it would be considered like artist block and like lack of motivation. Yeah, so I hope that maybe one of these tips can help you and get you creating again. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first one is kind of obvious, and I know you might be like, okay, I'm already doing this. And it is to take a break. And somebody might be like, oh, well, I already am taking a break because I'm not crocheting because I don't have the motivation. So clearly I'm taking a break. And it's like, no, you need to take a break, as in you need to tell yourself that it's okay to not, create for a couple days or a week or whatever you need to do. It's okay. It's okay. Like, you need to take a break from the pressure that you're putting on yourself when it comes to doing so, because ultimately, if you continue putting this pressure on yourself and don't allow yourself to fully just take a break, you're not going to get anything done anyway. You're not going to be very productive anyway, and more time's going to go by than if you just separated yourself from it and you said, you know what, I'm going to put this down and I'm going to come back to it when I can. And yeah, I have a market coming up, so I need to get back to it sooner than later. But I feel as though it can only help to step away for a couple days or so. And like I said, you're not going to get anything done anyway if you're continuing to put the pressure on yourself and you have a lack of motivation and artist block anyhow. So that is the first tip, and I feel as though these other tips kind of play into that. Like while you are taking a break, you can also engage in these other recommendations. So number 2 is to look for inspiration. Now, when people think about looking for inspiration, they typically think about Pinterest and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, which is great. I think that that's totally fine. Now, the thing is, though, is that when you're looking for inspiration on such platforms, you are going to come across a lot of the same stuff. That's fine. But if you want to be able to kind of have this original idea and this just like something that comes from the soul of like, oh, I am motivated to make this. Now, I'm saying, like, you might come across something like, say you came across, or you thought of like, I want to make a lizard, so you go and look for lizard patterns, and now you're motivated to make a lizard because you never wanted to make a lizard, and then you saw a lizard and you're like, cool. And that's fine. Like, you can go create and based on other people's patterns. I mean, that's what most of us do is, we buy patterns or get free patterns, and we create based on those patterns. But what I'm saying is that if you're just looking at a bunch of patterns of other people's and you have seen these patterns all over the internet, if you're somebody like me, I own literally 500 crochet patterns. So to go and look for motivation or inspiration on a platform like Instagram or Pinterest, it's just kind of like redundant and it doesn't really help. So something that I feel like would help is to separate yourself from the art itself. In terms of this and myself, is separating myself from crochet, not trying to find inspiration in crochet, trying to find inspiration in other art forms or just in the world in general, going for walks, watching different documentaries while you're taking your break from crocheting, and just engaging in other activities. And you might see something or come across something and you're like, you know what, that would probably make a really cool, crochet pattern. Let me, type one up, or let me, search for one and see if I can come across one that is, that I want to make. So I feel as though you need to look for inspiration separate from your choice of art form. When it comes to searching online, though, for inspiration, there is another way. This is specific for crochet artists, but I mean, it could probably be helpful for others as well. It's just when it comes to crochet patterns, whenever I'm looking for a pattern and looking for something that's like, oh, I want to create this and I want to make this, a lot of the times when you're looking, you just find the same popular patterns, especially even if you go on like Etsy and you type in crochet pattern, you're gonna find the most popular patterns that everybody's making. You either have already seen them or you've already made them, and that's not very helpful. So something that I have realized is that I am in the United States. So I feel as though a lot of the times, I don't know, I feel like Etsy might recommend like people who are in the United States. I'm not really sure. It's just kind of like I feel like a lot of the patterns that I see are people from the United States. Now I do have, you know, a lot of other patterns from all over the world, but I feel like that's predominantly what I come across. And so whenever I go onto Etsy and I want to try to find a pattern, just something different, if you go on there and you type in like a German crochet pattern, or just you know, Ukraine crochet pattern, like there's all different, you know, all different countries, whatever, you type that in, and the amount of like different crochet patterns that pop up that you normally wouldn't see is insane. And the way that people portray and interpret art in other cultures is just, you know, it's just vastly different among each culture. So it's really cool because the patterns don't look like the same as all the other patterns, you know, I might see that are written in America. And most of the time when you type in like German patterns, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them have English versions as well. So, you know, yes, you're typing in German, and yes, they're going to have crochet pattern in German, but they typically almost always have it in English as well. And so you're able to still read it, you know, if English is your first language, or your the language that you read, you know, crochet patterns in. So yeah, that's another way to look for inspiration. It's just something that I found a little fun. So next I have try a new hobby. And you might be thinking, yeah, no, I have invested too much money and time into this hobby, and, you know, I'm not passionate about anything else, or I'm not good at anything else. And, you know, I'm not telling you to go and, you know, go to the craft store and buy like $1,000 worth of resin or something. Like, I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm saying is do something that you normally wouldn't do. And I'm not saying you have to be good at it either. Like, I'm not good at painting, but sometimes I like to paint. And, you know, I forget that I like to paint, or I forget that, like, I can just sit down and just paint. And, you know, you don't have to be good at it. And this is something that you could do, like, for, you know, painting, for instance. You can go to the dollar store, and they have, like, the actual dollar store, Dollar Tree. Go to Dollar Tree, and you can get paint for, I guess it's now $1.25. And they have, like, little canvas there. You know, they have just poster board, like, whatever. You can find it, stuff for pretty cheap. You can even go on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, and I know that they have stuff on there as well. Or you might even have the stuff at home. Somebody, you know, a friend might have some that you can borrow. Just there are options out there in order for you to try a new hobby, and it doesn't have to be painting. It could be something else as well. But I think in that, it could either make you miss your old hobby or your other hobby, as in crochet or what you typically do, or it just might give you like just a break, and you know, you still are able to be creative and feel like you're creating something and getting that you know, that creative fill, but you are also just taking a break from the art form that you are struggling in finding motivation for. The next tip I have is to challenge yourself. And I mean, this could be for any art form, of course, like I've said throughout this video, but specifically when it comes to crochet, something that has actually helped me this week that I'm hoping to put into a later video is challenging myself. And by that, I mean doing a pattern that I normally wouldn't do. And in terms of crochet, if you're crocheting and trying to like prep for a market, you're probably making the same thing over and over and over again. And at some point, you know, you're like, okay, I know how to make this, you know, in my sleep. So it's not very challenging. It's not very exciting. And you're like, cool, you know, like whatever. So I think when it comes to like market prepping, I find that like there's times where I'm like, yeah, I just want to make like a bunch of something, and I'm motivated by seeing the progress and seeing the amount of things that I am creating. And then other times I'm like, I just want to be creative. I just want to create. I want to like just see something come together that's just like really cool and exciting. So I think in terms of crochet, and I can't really speak for other art forms, but I know that they, you know, it's just in general, just to challenge yourself is to do things and get out of your comfort zone, and you know, just embrace techniques that you normally would be afraid of or have no idea how to do. So when it comes to crocheting, you know, maybe work in a different weight of yarn, do a pattern in a different weight of yarn. I use a lot of plush yarn, so sometimes I like to just pick up some worsted weighted yarn and just start crocheting a pattern in that. It's just like a different feel in my hands, which is very, it's just very like stimulating in a different way, just feeling the texture of a different type of yarn in my hand. And I just think that that's been helpful for me, and it could be helpful for other people as well. Maybe picking a pattern that is not in your expertise level. So if you consider yourself to be, you know, a beginner, maybe pick something that is a little bit more advanced. There's thousands of free patterns out there, so you don't have to pay money, just in case, you know, you decide that you know, you don't want to finish it. But it can help you learn new techniques that you maybe wouldn't have. When there's new techniques in a crochet pattern, all you have to do is Google. Most of the time is to Google, and there's a bunch of YouTube videos of like explanations. And if you can't figure out that, you can always go on the Facebook groups and being like, hey, what does this mean within this pattern? Just, you know, also, you know, you can't be afraid to like fail in terms of challenging yourself. Because so long you learn something from it, as cheesy as it sounds, it's like, it's not a fail. Like, you didn't fail if you took something from it, and if you learned something from it, it's growth, it's not failure. And lastly, this is something that I feel as though I am struggling with the most lately, and is what is causing my lack of motivation. And it might, you know, you guys are gonna hear this and you might be like, oh, I was hoping she wouldn't say this. But it's being healthier mentally and physically in terms of getting enough sleep. If you are very sleepy, especially with crocheting, like trying to crochet when you're sleepy, like I will literally fall asleep while crocheting. So yeah, you gotta get some sleep, and just sleep in general, you know, it takes care of so many health ailments, supposedly, because I don't really get sleep, so I don't really know. But getting some sleep, just really focusing on what around you is bothering you. Now for me right now is that my house is a mess, and I have no motivation to clean my house because I want to crochet, or I'm like, oh, I have the crocheting to do. I'd rather be crocheting, but then when I'm trying to crochet, I'm bothered by the dishes in the sink, and I'm like, you know, my craft room is a mess right now, and I'm like, if everything was clean, I would probably feel better and less stressed about being able to just sit down and to do my craft. But instead what I do is I feel overwhelmed by everything that I should be doing, that makes it hard for me to do what I want to do. Yeah, so I need to get better at just getting done the things that are bothering me, the things that are around me, the things that I need to address that I'm constantly thinking of when I'm trying to just enjoy myself and to be able to create and relax. So I am going to, I'm not going to try, I'm going to get a lot of cleaning done this week. I am going to focus my energy on that, and I'm going to tell myself, and this is what you need to tell yourself too, is that you will feel so much better once you just take care of the things around you that are bothering you. You need to get an oil change in your car and you keep thinking about it, just get the damn oil change. Get it over with, because, you know, time don't stop. It just keeps on going. It's going to go, you know, regardless. It's going to go, and you're going to have to get this stuff done regardless. And if you are just sitting around, you know, stressing it and not being able to create, and the days are going by, it's like all that waste of time. You could have just gotten these things done and then had, you know, been like relaxed. And what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Oh, you have a clean house, but you're still not motivated to do crochet. Okay. I think that's okay, you know, like that's I think that would be okay. So and again, when it comes to having energy and sleeping, it's like just eating better. I eat so bad. All I eat is sugar all the time. All I want is sugar. I'm trying to get over my sugar addiction. It is unreal. It is real. But yeah, so just being healthier mentally, physically. thank you for watching, and I'm hoping to put out a more crochet-esque related video later on this week in terms of market prepping. So we will see. Hoping I can get some stuff done. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.